I've been a Lifestyles member since January of this year. My wife and I went to Nashville. We're about 90 minutes south of Nashville here in Huntsville.
Mhm.
She and I went up and listened to Lee Reeves do uh, the financial freedom seminar, and I had heard about uh, lifestyles over the last couple of years where I was stationed at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. I've been in the Army for the last 28 years. I've been on active duty, and I just retired from the Army. My
Thank you for
last,
your service, by the way,
yeah,
Kimball.
no,
We appreciate it.
I appreciate that, and I tell people that my very last day in the Army was February 29th. I was at the Expo this year. Uh,
Oh, awesome.
I was, and I was, it was my last day in the Army. So very quickly, last fall, as I was preparing to get out of the Army, and I was looking at, and I'd been preparing before. I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to retool my career post-military? What am I going to do, to support myself and my family? And I'm fortunate that I am a retiree, so that's a nice paycheck to get every single month. But for the most part, you take a 2/3 pay cut when you retire from the military. So I, just like all the other folks that are coming out of the military, say, well, all right, what am I going to do when I get out? And I was able to participate last fall in a fellowship, and I was in this fellowship position for about 12 weeks, and I came to the realization that I did not like uh, what I saw myself going into, and it was a little frustrating, but I knew, I thought something would come up.
Mhm.
And I had heard Del Walmsley on the radio when I was stationed in Fort Belvoir a couple times on the radio, and it was intriguing because I had no idea he was a real estate investor, or I didn't really understand. I heard him talking about sort of his bodybuilding, and I was intrigued by the abundance mentality discussion that he talked about, and it kind of got me thinking. And I looked into some more. Um, some more. I went to some some podcasts, and I went to the YouTube channel and listened to a couple of his videos, and I was like, oh, he's part of Lifestyle. So I looked into it, and I think by the end of December of last year, I told my wife, I said, I would like to look into this, and I'd like to get into go to a financial freedom seminar.
So when you and your
Um,
wife went to the 2-day workshop, did you sign up? Did you upgrade your membership to Challenge, Preferred? What did you do?
we went. I mean, at that time, we went straight to preferred. We
Okay.
went straight to preferred because it dawned on me very quickly that I was going to commit myself to doing real estate investment,
Okay.
and I was going to do that.
So I remember you giving me a call and we setting up our single family meeting. And I remember asking you why the single family. And at first you were saying you were just going to really focus on the multifamily aspect and maybe just do passive investing because you just got out of the military, you retired, you just didn't want to get back into the corporate world and be
Right.
working another 40 to 70 hours a week.
It,
And you
it
shared with
sounded
me, I
awful.
got,
It just
right.
sounded awful to me.
It sounds
It
awful to me
sound,
now.
it, sound- it sounded awful. I did
And
not want to do
you
that.
had these properties prior to Lifestyles Unlimited, and several of them you actually, well, a couple of them you actually lived in, and that's how you started with the being able to get these rental properties as you transitioned in the military. You moved around and basically just leased out your
Yeah.
homes that you lived in,
No,
and
that was
you
that was
had one
exactly
free
it.
and clear. And I
Hmm.
remember one of the conversations that we had, or like the question that you had was, Joe, can I still qualify to be able to buy single family? I said, absolutely, if you as long as you
Yeah.
got a pension,
Yeah.
retirement. And so from that point, you started taking a look at the numbers. You started reaching out to me and say, Joe, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go after single
Yeah.
family properties.
That's right.
And I helped you create some clear roadmaps as to how to be able to access cash and equity from these properties and be able to expand your net worth, right? And
Yeah.
so
No, that's exactly right. That's very correct. And one of my big things was I was concerned about financing because as a military, I didn't have a job. I still don't have a job right now. And that's okay because I'm able to make ends meet. I'll probably go into that a little bit
Yeah,
more later.
I'm sure somebody's in the audience is going to have a
Yeah.
question about that. So why did you join Lifestyles Unlimited? I think you've covered
I,
some of the things. You talked about hearing Dale on the radio,
yeah,
um,
I,
and you talked
I
about not
really,
wanting to work.
I really, as myself and many other veterans, we've spent a lot of time in the military, and I spent a lot of time away from my family. And I got two little ones. They're 10 and 8 years old now. You know, I lost some. I didn't lose as many as others, but I lost some time with my family. I did miss the first whole year of my marriage. My first
Right.
year of my marriage, I was deployed, and I wanted to spend some time with my family. And now they get, at this point, they're able to get me 24/7. I don't know how good they feel about that, but I love it. Um,
You know,
you
that
know,
is having dad in our society, having dad home and having dad to be able to have a huge impact on our lives is huge, especially now in our world.
yes, yes,
Uh,
it is. And
Yeah,
with all the co
you've covered every
yeah,
single one of these things here. Let's go ahead and move on
yep,
to the problems. You were going to say something else.
absolutely. No,
Go
I
ahead
was
and
just,
finish up your train of thought.
yeah, no, with this COVID, with everything that's going on with COVID, we made the hard decision that we're going to actually homeschool this year for a little while because the schools are still trying to figure out what they're doing. And so, I've been able to help my wife with my kids doing their schoolwork, and so it's been a real blessing for our family for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So I love that you brought up COVID because it's really powerful. And
Yeah,
like David shared with our last presenter, these properties, remember you signed up in January of this
January.
year.
Yes,
You purchased 3
three.
properties since that time,
Yep,
all during the COVID period. Here we're
that's correct.
presenting about Forest View. Which property
This
is 1, 2, or 3?
this was actually my second property.
So this is
Um,
right in the heart of COVID that you purchased
yeah,
this one. All right.
yep. And this one is in right in Houston. It's in Forest View, 9233 Forest View Street. This house, I'll just give you the quick breakdown. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom with a little over 1,300 square feet.
Hmm.
Um, and I got this property through Moon Kim Lifestyles Realty. He was fantastic. Just really, I mean, he is a go-getter. He knew exactly what would I look for. So I looked at several of the email blasts that came out, saw this one, and this would be my second one.
And some of
And
these pictures are phenomenal, by the way, as
yeah,
we're changing through these slides. But go on.
yeah. No, but I wish I had some better pictures of the outside for you and the inside. These were all taken by my contractor that went in there because I never actually went out there physically myself. I relied a lot on,
That's
and that's
exactly what we want to do.
yeah, exactly. The contractor went through, he showed me videos. Uh, this property was great because it was listed at 77,000 and the
We're going to
appraised
talk about those
value.
numbers. These are the numbers right here.
Yep.
Before you go
Yep.
on,
Yeah.
Kimball, I want to talk about something really powerful here. You bought
Yes.
3 properties in the Texas area. It's
Yep.
giving you the confidence, it's giving you the experience of knowing how to do it the Lifestyles way. And our last conversation that we had as we were preparing for this presentation, you're now focusing on Alabama because
That's
you want to
correct.
buy in the local area.
Yep.
And I think after this, we've got to schedule a meeting so I can show you how we can find properties in the local area, right? Or did we do
Yeah.
that already?
Well, we talked about it. You told me to go out and look at a house.
Mhm.
That house, by the time it went up, it had already been under contract. But I'm looking at other houses. I went and looked at another house. I'm still trying to build a team here locally. I had a great team there in the Houston area. I still have a great team there. I'm just trying to replicate all of that here in my hometown.
But you know that you can do it, right?
Yes,
And that's
absolutely.
all right. So
Yeah.
even though you're living in Alabama, and you bought the properties in Texas, you're now focusing on your locale right
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Now
All right.
that's
So let's
correct.
talk about the numbers because these
Sure.
numbers are phenomenal. Like you were
I
saying, you purchased it for 77
Yep.
and its
No,
trade
that's right.
value is 154. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
that was
So
huge.
after doing the rehab at 27 and the closing costs, two closings from the hard money to the conventional, 12,000, a total net equity of still
Yeah.
$37,000.
Yeah.
Ooh, give yourself
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
hand there,
No,
Kimball. Awesome.
it was huge. And
It-
you know, this one was, it's interesting that when you look at the houses, okay, this one, you look at, there's a sweet spot for sure,
mhm.
on any house that you're going to go and purchase. And this one was at a real sweet spot because the rehab was 27,000. The other two were over 50,000. Now, I have no problem doing a large rehab, but this one was, you know, this one was a real sweet spot, and the appraised value came back really high. So I
That's
mean, that's, you know, that was just, I want to do that every time.
Yep. But you know how to do it now.
Yeah, that's true.
Cash out of pocket is phenomenal. It's only
Yeah, yeah,
$19,343 for a return on capital gains of
yeah,
192%. And
yeah,
David Fisher likes to
yeah.
say,
Well,
what?
I know what he likes to say. I'm going to be a little demure here on this one,
Okay, all right.
but
Let's
I
hear.
agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, that's super exciting. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some awesome things in line for this property in the future and for
Yes.
you and your family. And that's
Yeah.
what's really powerful. Now, your
Yeah.
rent per month is 1350,
Yes, it is.
16,000 a year. When you do your expenses,
Yeah.
minus subtract all your expenses, you've got a wonderful,
Yeah.
huge cash flow of $522,
Yes.
6,624 a year, 34%
Yeah.
cash on cash return. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. In 3 years, my friend,
Yeah.
you will recoup all of your initial investment just from cash
Yeah.
flow alone. That is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
So many things.
This one was fantastic. It
So
really
many things.
was.
So what was going through
Yep.
your mind as you started looking at these numbers?
Well, you know, I will tell you right off the bat, I look a lot at the cash flow every month, you
Mhm.
know, and I've been taught not to, we learn, don't ignore the, you know, the equity capture and everything else. And then I look at this and oh, wow, there was huge, you know, huge equity capture here. And, you know, the cash flow per month is important to me right now, but I mean, I'm very excited. I know that when I do go to sell this house in about 3 years,
Mhm.
you know, I'm going to be able to just roll it right up and come out with, you know, a lot
Well,
more.
your equity is going to be definitely a
Yeah.
lot more than that. And because one of your goals, we're going to talk about that and why this is going to be important to it. So let's go
Yes.
ahead and move to the next slide and we'll take a look
Sure.
at your portfolio. So this is the
Yeah.
three properties you bought during COVID,
Yep.
and are they
That's
all
right.
rented out?
They are all rented out. The house there on Santa Fe, you know, got tenants been in there for probably about you know, 2.5 weeks, and you know, all three of these houses. Once I, you know, got and I did get a leasing agent, that kind of helped me out to be able to handle that from remotely. Otherwise, I would do it myself if I were right there in Texas, but people were already calling and asking before the house was even done, especially that one in Santa Fe. It was just interesting how that one worked.
But you
But
did what we told you to do is put a sign in the yard
yeah, oh yeah,
as it was
they,
rehab, right? Awesome.
yep, that's exactly what we did. And for all three of these houses, you know, I've got great cash flow. The Forest View houses, that one we're talking about tonight, and the equity is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
The equity, in fact, on all three of these are
yeah,
wonderful. And that's almost $100,000 worth of equity from
yeah,
three properties and a projected 18,940 with three completely rented
yeah,
out properties.
yep.
So I applaud you. That is
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome equity, awesome cash flow. So let's go
yeah.
ahead and talk about who's on your team
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. You know, I've mentioned Moon already. He just was just a go-getter. In fact, all of the real estate agents. The one I did buy one through Joe Wimberly, but that was just a great opportunity. I bought the Santa Fe house through Joe Wimberly, but Moon was just fantastic. Of course, Joe, you've been very, very supportive. I appreciate that. And my personality type, I guess I lean type A, and I just go for it. And my wife is also type. We have a nice balance between the two of us. My wife's also a type A, but we have B leanings as well. So we look through things, we discuss them, and then I said, I'm just going to go for this. And I said, I'm going to buy 3. And what actually my lender, Catalyst Funding, approved my gave me a letter of approval, and I was going to buy 1 house. And when I pulled up my letter, it said I was good for 3 houses. So I picked up the phone, called my lender, and Ernest told me, he said, "Oh, you're good for 3." No, I'm getting 3. So that was really what it was. I said, I'm getting 3. I'm approved for 3. I'm getting 3. I'm going to do it. So All Star did all 3 of my houses. And so I just said, do the same thing on all 3 houses, the design and everything on the inside.
It's cookie cutter. We follow the model.
Yeah, that's right. And, so it was fantastic. It went by in a flash too. I got in and out just very quickly. The Forest View house, I purchased it on the 8th of May. And I had it completely rehabbed and refinanced on the 29th of June.
Wow.
And I had somebody in that house the very next day.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these next 2 slides are really powerful because this is how Lifestyles Unlimited has helped you change your life.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
No, that's I've mentioned before, being able to spend time with my family. And this has actually freed me up, so I don't have to run out and go get, a big corporate job or work for somebody else. Doesn't mean I'm technically retired now, but doesn't mean I'm wealthy. I'm not where I want to be yet.
Sure. But number 2 is really powerful because it's giving you a different perspective on money and wealth building.
Yes.
Because now the world's your oyster, and you look at your money and you look at your potential differently.
Yeah,
correct?
For sure. I did not. I mean, I had, like everybody else. I have a TSP account, which is an account that military folks have access to. I had a TSP account. I'm still trying to work out how to get the money I have out of that one, because I want to pull.
Well, the other thing that we've talked about, because we're going back to our initial conversation. You said, Joe, how can I do this for single family? And I gave you several roadmaps to take.
Yep.
You still have that paid for property, and you're going to be accessing that cash soon to be able to buy more properties in the future. So
I'll tell you, Joe.
Go on.
I'll tell you, Joe. I did that cash out refinance today.
Awesome. Boy, you are moving at the speed of awesomeness.
And so
excited to hear.
Yeah, and just for everybody's edification, I had one property before I came into Lifestyles. That one was paid for free and clear. I had tenant in there, but I understand the tax implications of that. Plus, I wanted all the equity, so I just pulled out $122,000. So I'm going to take every last bit of that, and I'm going to buy however many houses I can, at least 3.
Oh, you're going to buy more than that. Let me tell you that.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
And we can obviously in number 4 we can see you got the confidence. So here's what's really exciting, because we talked about you've got $90,000 plus of equity, and this is what's really powerful, because what's next?
Like I said, I want to buy 3 more houses, and I'll always take a look and see. I'm going to move in. I'd like to move into multifamily as soon as I can. I don't know how long that'll be, but I had a goal too of, when I get out of the Army, I want to be able to make up the difference within a year. Now, I don't think I'll quite be able to be there, but very close to make up that difference.
I think if you need to have more conversations with me, because you're underestimating yourself. But you've already accomplished the first bullet point, which was done today. So that is pretty awesome. 3 more, you want 10. You're going to move
Yep.
into multifamily, and you're looking at IRO. So that is awesome. I have to applaud you, sir. That is
Thank
really
you.
awesome what you've been doing. And I
Thank
so appreciate you. Every time you always keep me updated and you're saying, Joe, this is what I'm doing. And every time I see, oh, wow, he's got another property. Oh, and here's some issues that he's having. So
Yeah.
let's mentor him and help him,
Yeah.
give him some guidance and taking care of that. So
That's right.
David,
Are you guys ready for some questions?
I am.
Okay, Ember, come on, bring us 3 questions. Pick the 3 best ones because we have a time constraint.
yep.
All right, perfect. So Zach was asking, where did the 19,000 out of pocket come from?
I did not get a cash out. I went ahead and pulled that one out of some mutual funds that I had. That's
Okay,
it.
nice, nice.
And
then
let
Trey,
me follow up a little bit on that, Ember. Hold on. If you're
Okay.
asking how comes it was only 20 grand to buy a house, come to my seminar. There's a way we do lending a certain way to be able to do all that. We don't have all the time to explain all that, but I will explain that in detail in the seminar, how you could do very little cash out of pocket to buy these houses.
That's right.
perfect. Okay. And Trey was saying also thank you for your service in the military.
Thanks. Appreciate
He
it.
was asking if you had still been in the military, would you still do single family or would you pick multifamily?
I hadn't even thought about that. I was a single family, I was a reluctant landlord. I actually didn't get into this till I got out, but I would just do single families. I do know there's at least one guy that gave a presentation, Joe, at the expo, who he and his wife were he was an Army officer, doctor, and they're doing multifamily. I remember that specifically.
Chris,
George, who are you talking about? That's Tricia. That's
yeah, Trisha. Yeah.
Yep.
So Kimball, I just for that guy's question.
Yeah.
Kimball was going to actually just focus on the passive side. But one of the things we talked about in our initial mentor meeting was, in your retirement, you are getting taxed.
Yeah.
And I said, if you were to buy at least 1 or 2 single family properties, that would be huge and beneficial on the tax side to relieve the tax burden on retirement and put money back in your pocket. So
That's right.
now he's got 3, he's got $18,000, but the 3 properties with the amount of rehab that he's done on them, he's going to have a huge tax refund. It's one of the things that changes lifestyles matters.
Nice.
And every tax year we get peeing your pants excited for those things, right?
That's right. I completely agree.
Yeah. And now Kimball's stuck on the cocaine of the single family.
Yes.
All right, one more, Amber.
All right. So last question I have for you is from Brian. And he was asking specifically from Kimball and Joe, what would you say is the reason for such a low purchase price compared to the rehab and the appraised value? And thank you guys for taking the question.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ember. Appreciate it.
The houses, one of the houses, in fact, all 3 of the houses are not in great shape. They're depressed. They're houses that need a lot of TLC. They're old, and 2 of them needed foundation work. Not the one in Forest View, but 2 of them needed foundation work. And like the previous panelist said, don't be afraid of tackling a foundation. You just make sure you roll it up into the scope of work.
Yeah, so David's going to talk about and answer that question in the 2-day workshop, but what we do is essentially look for properties that are stressed. We do the numbers, we make sure we're very conservative in the numbers, and oftentimes because we're so conservative in the numbers, we're buying it distressed. Once we fix it up, oftentimes the ARV goes higher than what was anticipated because we've done such a great job on the rehab and making it not just market ready, but above market ready. So that's one of the reasons why. And again,
I'm
David's
going to
going to
show
cover
you how
that
to find deals like that. I'm literally going to show you how to find those deals this week in my seminar. Don't ask who that is. That's a Korean Cuban, just so you know. She's a major too, by the way.
No.
Major pain, or she was. Still is. Okay. But Kimball, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure you're inspiring
Absolutely.
out there. And thank you, Joe, for your continuing mentoring. And I love seeing your legacy for your kids as well. That's pretty awesome.
All right,
Very
awesome.
proud of them as well. So thanks, guys.